Menopause is something regularly discussed on Loose Women, but never before on Loose Men. Robbie Williams has blamed his inability to sleep, reduced sex drive, thinning hair and weight gain on the so-called menopause. Now, the NHS say that, yes, men do lose testosterone as they get older, but the term, is it unhelpful? Do we agree?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate the term. I think it's really unhelpful. And I think the reason why, and I know Robbie is probably saying it just to get some headlines, and he's been doing that his entire career. But I think the idea of what men are going through at a certain point in their lives is really important. So if you trivialise the menopause by calling it the menopause, I think you've lost half the audience. We want to keep them on board, do you know what I mean? I think the idea of trying to compare what men are going through to what women are going through, and something so medical and so psychological and so important in their lives, it's not a good idea.
Well, let's not forget, it's only recently, and I think the audience will agree, it's only recently that the menopause has become an actual open topic of conversation, you know, because before and prior to, you know, Loose Women in particular talking about it openly amongst each other and really talking about their experiences and what they go through, and is this happened to you? Yeah, it's happened to me, and some brutally honest conversations, you know. It's only recently that it's come into the limelight, and rightly so. But for men now to say, oh, yeah, there's actually... Oh, by the way, there's a menopause. We don't want to be left out. It can be damaging, Ronan.
It can be damaging, but I think, you know, look at society today. Look at the world we live in. It's far more easier for all of us to talk about our insecurities, our weaknesses. And, you know, men in particular, we're only getting our head around talking to each other now, you know, and talking about our insecurities and our failures and our faults, etc. And Robbie might be onto something. You know, maybe there is, you know, like our hair starts to thin, you know, we get back, you know, lines, whatever it may be.
Erectile
our bodies
dysfunction.
change. Sorry?
Erectile dysfunction?
Erectile dysfunction. I mean, things happen in our bodies, definitely at a certain... Speak for yourself. at certain ages. So there's definitely something that happens to the...
You got to stop staring.
Wait, stop!
I know.
You can't just say erectile
We're on
dysfunction
television.
I know.
We're on television.
Keep talking.
He's
on the
always
list.
wanted to say it. He's always wanted to say it.
It's on the list. It's on the list. That's all I'm saying.
So I think, yeah, I think Bob is probably onto something, but yeah, he's got a new Netflix documentary out, so that's probably why he said it.
I'm looking forward to that documentary because that documentary in itself is an episode of Loose Men because, you know, he's got a lot of mental health issues. He's talked about it openly. He's talked about his weight loss. He's talked about how he struggles just being amongst strangers, you know, in public. And the poor guy's had a lot of issues, which I think this is a form of therapy in itself for him. To look back and go, oh, man, I was that person. You know, maybe that's what moulded me and made me the person that I am today. It's a tough old topic.
But I think it's the idea of men going through phases of their life, obviously, we can all relate to that. And for me, the idea of there being a point in my life where I lose my identity, I've already lost my hair, that's fine. I'm as bald as a baby was born. So that's absolutely fine. I've got to that point in my life. But I think it's a really interesting point of discussion that we all as humans are able to talk about us going through phases in our lives. So I think he's definitely got a point. Just don't call it the menopause, please.
Change the name. Change the name.
Isn't it funny how on Loose Men we're supposed to openly talk about topics of conversation? When Jake Quickenden was here and he was having his testicles tested for testicular cancer, everyone giggled. Do you know what I mean? You mentioned erectile dysfunction, everyone goes, oh. It's like, that's what we're here for. This is what Loose Men is all about. You know?
Erectile dysfunction. That's what it's all about.
Issues, problems, worth talking about.